What if I told you that the most emotional, powerful, and unforgettable season of Heartland is just around the corner? That everything you've loved about this series, its heartbreaks, triumphs, and soul-deep family bonds, is about to reach a whole new level. Buckle up, because Heartland Season 19 isn't just another chapter, it's a turning point that could change everything. For nearly 2 decades, Heartland has been more than just a TV show. It's been a home, a place where viewers could escape to the vast Canadian landscapes, find comfort in familiar faces, and witness the unbreakable ties of love, family, and hope. As Season 19 approaches, the heartbeat of the series is louder than ever, and fans are already sensing something different in the air. Not just another season, but a resurrection. Season 18 closed with subtle changes, but underneath those gentle moments were signs of transformation. Amy, once the heartbroken widow trying to hold her world together, has started to show signs of becoming something more. Not just a survivor, but a visionary. And now, the question that echoes through the fan base is this: how will Amy lead Heartland into a new future while still honoring its past? The loss of Ty Borden left a wound so deep, even time struggled to heal it. For many fans, Ty wasn't just a character. He was the emotional anchor. His connection with Amy wasn't just a love story, it was the soul of the series. When he died in Season 14, many believed Heartland might never recover. But the show didn't end. It adapted. It evolved. And that's what makes Season 19 so important. This isn't about forgetting Ty. It's about carrying his spirit forward in a way that uplifts every character, especially Amy and Lindy. Now, more than ever, Amy stands at a crossroads. She's not the same girl who once whispered to horses and leaned on others for strength. She's grown into a mother, a mentor, and maybe even a symbol of what Heartland itself has become. Stronger through loss, wiser through struggle, and ready for a future that's anything but predictable. But Season 19 isn't just about Amy. Behind the scenes, there's movement. Quiet, deliberate, powerful. Rumors swirl of returning characters, long-ignored storylines reawakening, and emotional confrontations that fans have waited years to see. The Bartlett-Fleming family is tightening its circle, but the cracks are still there. Lou's political future may finally reach a breaking point. Georgie's path could shift in ways no one expects. And Jack, steady, stoic Jack, may have to face something even he isn't prepared for. With everything hanging in the balance, the writers of Heartland seem to be building toward a season that doesn't just continue the story, it challenges it. Each character will face choices that demand growth, sacrifice, and courage. Relationships will be tested, secrets might surface, and through it all, the spirit of Heartland, love, loyalty, and resilience will guide them. Season 19 carries a weight that few shows ever get to hold, the weight of legacy. It must honor the past without being trapped in it. It must bring something fresh without losing the soul fans fell in love with. That's not just writing, that's a high-wire act. And it's exactly what the creators of Heartland are attempting to do. If you think you've seen everything Heartland has to offer, think again. This isn't just a continuation, it's a comeback. A season that dares to blend grief and hope, tradition and transformation. And as the countdown begins, one thing is clear. Heartland Season 19 isn't playing it safe. It's reaching for something higher. And that's just the beginning. If you think Heartland has shown you its biggest storms already, Season 19 is about to prove you wrong. Because this time, the challenges aren't just outside the ranch, they're brewing inside the hearts of the characters we've grown up with. And as much as Heartland is known for healing and hope, this season is shaping up to be one of the most emotionally intense chapters in its entire history. Let's start with Amy. She's always been the quiet strength of the family, the one who finds calm even in chaos. But now, she's stepping into a new kind of power. No longer just Ty's grieving widow or Marion's horse-whispering daughter, Amy is stepping into her own identity as the leader of Heartland Ranch. She's making decisions that will define the future of the family legacy, not just preserving the traditions, but reshaping them to fit a new world. That transformation won't come easy. Change never does. And Amy will have to face uncomfortable truths, not only about what she wants for Lindy, but about who she's becoming in the process. This brings us to Lindy. She's no longer the silent baby in Amy's arms. She's growing fast, asking questions, exploring the world, and showing signs that she might be even more connected to horses than Amy was at her age. But with growth comes risk, and Amy knows better than anyone what it means to face danger and loss. As a mother, she'll have to balance letting Lindy explore her path while protecting her from the harsh realities Amy had to face too soon. And that balance, it's already starting to crack. Meanwhile, Lou is juggling too many worlds at once. Again. Her role as mayor continues to stretch her thin. Her family life is demanding more of her time. And her romantic life? It's far from settled. Season 19 may finally force Lou to make a choice between ambition and peace, between what she thinks she wants and what her heart has quietly been asking for. And with Peter and Mitch both still part of her orbit, those choices won't be easy. Georgie's return is another piece of the puzzle fans are desperate to see. Rumors suggest she could make a comeback this season, and if she does, it won't just be a casual visit. Her journey away from the ranch has changed her. She's stronger, more independent, but also carrying burdens no one back home fully understands. If she returns, it could mean reckoning with unresolved emotions, especially with Lou, and possibly revisiting her Olympic dreams. But will she still fit into the world she left behind? Then there's Jack, the cornerstone of Heartland, the man who holds the ranch and the family together. But even mountains can feel the tremors of time. Jack has been hiding his pain behind calm eyes and wise words for years. Season 19 could be the moment he finally lets the mask slip. Whether it's his health, his memories, or an old regret that resurfaces, something in Jack's world is shifting. And when Jack is shaken, the entire family feels it. But perhaps the biggest shift of all is happening in the silence, the spaces between the words, the tension in scenes where nothing is said, but everything is felt. Heartland has always been about those quiet, powerful moments, and season 19 is full of them. A long look across a dinner table, a paused breath before a hard truth is spoken, a horse refusing to be tamed, mirroring a character's inner battle. This season isn't loud. It doesn't need to be, because the emotional stakes have never been higher. New characters are also expected to arrive, each carrying their own past, their own secrets, and their own reasons for coming to Hudson. Some may threaten the peace, others may bring healing, but none of them will leave Heartland untouched. The writers are weaving these newcomers into the story with care, making sure their presence adds depth, not just distraction. And that means every new face could be holding a key to someone's future, or a trigger from their past. Season 19 also promises to explore deeper themes that resonate far beyond the ranch. What does it mean to start over after loss? Can broken families find new ways to stay whole? How do you let go of what hurts without losing what matters? These questions aren't just plot points, they're the emotional core of this new season. And through it all, the land remains. The breathtaking Alberta scenery isn't just a backdrop, it's a character in its own right. Always changing, always beautiful, always holding secrets, just like the people who live on it. So if you're thinking Heartland is settling down in its 19th year, think again. This isn't a gentle ride through familiar trails. It's a storm, a test, a transformation, and not everyone will make it through unchanged. The winds are rising, the past is knocking, and the future is racing toward Heartland like a wild horse no one's ever tried to tame. There's a saying in Heartland: the past never truly leaves. It just waits for the right time to ride back in. And in season 19, that time has come, because this year, more than ever, the past is knocking. Old wounds are opening, and the shadows of forgotten memories are making their way back to the ranch, threatening everything the family has worked so hard to rebuild. Let's start with something that's been on every fan's mind for years: unresolved stories. Heartland has always taken its time. It doesn't rush closure. It lets characters breathe, reflect, and sometimes walk away with the promise of return. But now, in this new season, it feels like those doors left ajar are finally swinging open. Characters who disappeared without a clear ending, like Georgie, Mallory, or even Caleb's deeper arc, may return, not just for nostalgia, but to complete the journeys they left unfinished. If Georgie does return, it won't just be a happy homecoming. There's tension that still simmers between her and Lou, choices that were made, things left unsaid. And if Georgie has changed as much as we think, she may come back stronger, but also more guarded. Her relationship with Quinn, her Olympic training, the distance she put between herself and the ranch, it all built a wall. Will she be ready to let it down? And more importantly, will the family be ready to let her back in? There's also a chance that season 19 will explore the long-ignored fractures between Tim and the people he loves. Tim has always been the wild card, the one with a rough past, the one who says things he shouldn't, the one who runs when it gets too heavy. But lately, we've seen him soften. We've seen regret in his eyes, especially when it comes to Marion's memory and the mistakes he made as a father. If season 19 decides to dig into Tim's history, we could be looking at one of the most emotional redemptions yet, or a breakdown that threatens his fragile progress. Amy, too, is haunted, not by ghosts, but by echoes. Memories of Ty are everywhere. His jacket, his tools, his daughter. But it's not just grief she's carrying anymore. It's a question that has never been fully answered. What would Ty have wanted for her? Is she honoring his memory by standing still, or by finally letting go? Amy's healing journey has been slow, real, and deeply painful. But now, there's a sense that she's approaching a crossroads, and whichever direction she chooses, whether toward love, solitude, or a new dream, it will define not just her story, but the heart of Heartland itself. And then, there's something even deeper, a feeling that's been building beneath the surface, the fear of change. Heartland has always been about the balance between holding on and moving forward, but season 19 puts that balance under a magnifying glass. Jack is aging. The ranch is evolving. Hudson is growing into a town where new faces bring new ideas, and not all of them fit the old ways. The world outside Heartland is moving fast. And now, the question is whether the family can keep up without losing what makes them. Even the ranch itself may be at risk. Quiet whispers in the script suggest that land disputes, financial strains, or unexpected outside pressures could threaten the very ground Heartland stands on. And if that happens, we may see something we've never seen before. The family pushed to the edge of losing not just each other, but the place that holds them together. New characters could play a key role in this unfolding drama. Season 19 is expected to introduce individuals who stir the pot, some who bring healing, others who bring conflict. There may be a young rider who challenges Amy's methods, a rival rancher with a hidden agenda, or even a returning flame from someone's past who forces difficult choices. These characters won't just pass through, they'll dig deep into the fabric of Heartland, forcing the main cast to adapt or fall apart. And through it all, the unspoken truth lingers. Love is still possible, even after heartbreak, even after years of pain. Fans have long debated whether Amy should find love again. Some say yes, it's time. Others argue that Ty was her one and only. But season 19 might finally give an answer, not through a forced romance, but through honest, slow-burning moments. A new connection may rise, not to replace Ty, but to remind Amy and all of us that life doesn't end with loss. It bends, breaks, and then somehow begins again. In these upcoming episodes, don't be surprised if tears fall without warning, if joy feels earned, if silence between two characters suddenly means more than words ever could, because that's what Heartland does best. It speaks to the part of us that remembers, that regrets, and still dares to hope. So, as the past returns, and as memories clash with the present, season 19 becomes more than just a continuation, it becomes a reckoning. The calm is over, the dust is rising, and the future, it's about to come thundering in. A storm may be coming to Heartland, but after every storm, there's a sunrise. And as season 19 races toward us like a wild stallion, one thing has become clear. This is more than a season. It's a turning point. A moment where everything the show has built over 18 long years is finally being put to the test. Every bond, every belief, every heart. What lies ahead won't be easy. It's not supposed to be. Because real life, like life on the ranch, is messy, beautiful, brutal, and unpredictable. But that's exactly what makes season 19 so important. This season isn't just revisiting old themes. It's pushing them to the edge. It's forcing every character to ask, who am I now? What do I want next? And what am I willing to lose in order to grow? Let's begin where it all started. Heartland Ranch, the land that has held generations of pain, joy, loss, and healing. For Amy, it's more than home. It's a legacy. And now, the responsibility to protect it falls squarely on her shoulders. In past seasons, Amy was often guided by others, by Marion's memory, by Jack's wisdom, by Ty's quiet strength. But season 19 is different. It's time for Amy to lead. But leadership doesn't come without sacrifice. Amy is learning that being the head of the ranch means making impossible choices. The future of Heartland might require changes that go against the traditions she once held sacred, upgrading equipment, letting go of old structures, bringing in new people, even considering new types of therapy or business ventures that the older generation may resist. These decisions could put her at odds with Jack, Tim, or even Lou. And that friction, it's going to test every line of trust in the family. And speaking of Lou, her storyline is about to hit a boiling point. For years, Lou has juggled her role as mayor, businesswoman, mother, and sister. But this time, something is different. The pressure is mounting. Her political responsibilities are starting to chip away at the time she has for Katie and her family. And the emotional cost? It's starting to show. Lou may finally have to choose. Does she want to be the leader of Hudson, or the glue that holds her family together? At the same time, her personal life is unraveling in silence. Her relationship with Peter still carries lingering emotions. And Mitch? His absence left more questions than answers. Could season 19 bring closure, or ignite an old flame that changes Lou's life forever? Fans have been waiting for Lou to make a choice that isn't based on logic, but on heart. And this might be the moment she does. Then there's Tim. Always stubborn, always unpredictable, and finally, deeply vulnerable. In the past, Tim's story has danced around redemption, touching it but never fully embracing it. This season, however, there's nowhere left to run. Rumors suggest Tim might face a life-altering decision, something tied to his past mistakes, or perhaps his health. He's starting to realize that life doesn't give endless second chances, and the only way to make peace with the future is to stop hiding from the past. Expect emotional scenes between Tim and Jack, two men who have always respected and resented each other in equal measure. But now, with age catching up and regrets piling high, they may have to find common ground, not just as in-laws, but as men who've both lost too much and said too little. As the adults in the family wrestle with their choices, the younger generation is preparing to rise. Lindy is not just growing, she's becoming a central heartbeat of the story. Her connection to horses, her quiet understanding of her mother's pain, and her curiosity about her father, all these things are starting to shape her path. And for Amy, watching Lindy become her own person will be beautiful and terrifying, because it means letting go, letting her daughter feel her own grief, make her own choices, take her own falls. And Lindy's story could hold a surprise. There's talk that she might discover something about Ty, an old letter, a gift he left behind, or a secret Amy never shared. And whatever that discovery is, it could send a ripple through the entire family, reigniting old emotions, reopening old wounds, but also offering a new kind of healing. This season will also explore what it means to create a home, not just through walls and land, but through people. Heartland has always been about belonging, and season 19 expands on that theme more than ever before. Expect new faces, some seeking shelter, some offering wisdom, and some stirring up trouble. One rumored new character is a young trainer, ambitious, talented, but arrogant. He may challenge Amy's methods, pushing her to prove that compassion is not weakness. His presence could spark conflict, but also growth, especially if Lindy takes an interest in his techniques. The question will be, will Amy hold her ground or be forced to evolve? There's also whispers of an older woman, someone from Jack's past, a woman with a history tied to the land. Her arrival could unlock stories long buried, stories that explain Jack's silence, his deepest regrets, and maybe even a hidden chapter of Marion's life. Her presence could change the way the family sees its own roots and challenge their understanding of loyalty and forgiveness. And let's not forget the horses. They've always mirrored the emotions of the characters, and this season will be no different. One horse in particular, a wild, untamed stallion, might symbolize everything Amy is struggling with: fear, freedom, control. Her work with this animal could become one of the most emotional arcs of the season, reminding fans that healing doesn't happen in straight lines. It happens in circles. Sometimes through hooves and silence, not words. There may also be an emotional goodbye this season, a farewell that no one saw coming. Whether it's a character moving away, passing on, or simply choosing a new path, the impact will be felt across the family. Because every ending in Heartland carries echoes of all the ones before it. Yet for every goodbye, there's also a beginning. And as season 19 builds toward its final episodes, hope begins to break through. Relationships that were strained start to mend. Decisions made in fear start to blossom into strength. And Amy, our quiet, powerful lead, begins to smile again. Not because the pain is gone, but because she finally believes she can carry it and still move forward. Season 19 will likely end not with fireworks, but with a feeling. A quiet moment that reminds us why we fell in love with this show in the first place. Maybe a sunrise over the ranch. Maybe a shared laugh at the dinner table. Maybe Amy standing alone, looking at Ty's old spot in the barn, and not crying, but breathing. Because that's what Heartland has always done best. It doesn't just tell a story, it feels it. And this time, it's promising the most emotional ride yet. So, to every fan who's held on through the heartbreaks, who cried when Ty died, who smiled when Jack gave another bit of hard-earned wisdom, who rooted for Amy to find herself again, this season is for you. This is the ride we've been waiting for. And it just might be the best one yet.